All right, disillusionment. Often when I'm talking about the professional community as a group, I talk about the real injustice that they commit by creating disillusionment in people. So when I talk about disillusionment, that's usually the context. I'm talking about the professional community, their misinformation, their complete failure to provide answers or insights, and how a person puts in so much work, 5, 10, 15. I've talked to people who've been in therapy for 40 and 50 years. And eventually, they're at the end, right? They're just like, I've invested all of this time and energy and nothing. I got nothing to show for it. That feeling of I've put in all this effort and I've got nothing to show for it is disillusionment. It's a killer because it can mean the end of people's caring. Even though I often talk about disillusionment in that context, I want you to consider that it's not always the fault of the person providing the information. Sometimes, and often I would say, it's a result of one's own unrealistic expectations. So for example, if a person comes to me full of euphoria and excitement, believing that I can fix them, well, they're setting themselves up for disillusionment. Why is that? The reason is because nobody can fix you. Nobody can fix you except for you. Not even I can fix you. It doesn't matter if you paid me $1 million, which I would not complain about, by the way, and I would give it my darndest effort. But even then, I wouldn't be able to fix you. If you were to get fixed, it'd be because you fixed yourself. The interesting thing is that a person who becomes disillusioned because of their own unrealistic expectations often then expands that disillusionment to equate things that are distinct and separate but seemingly guilty by association. So here's some examples. Back during the summer, I had plans to take a short trip to Toledo. Beforehand, I spent a lot of time picking out a really good hotel. I wanted to live it up a little bit, and I settled on one. I looked these pictures over and over again. Hotel had a beautiful pool, nice gym, seemed to be ideally situated. When I checked in, I thought, this absolutely cannot be the place. It looked like something out of the Addams Family. Scary part of town, cracks and litter throughout the parking lot. The inside looked like it had never been renovated. No, I mean, not ever. It looked like it was built sometime in the 60s or 70s. What really put a hair in my biscuit was the fact that the pool was not only 1,000 times smaller in real life than it looked like in the pictures, but it was closed for repairs. Can you believe that? First night, I get in bed and I hear, just the loudest sex noises coming from through the wall of the room next to me. I was a little jealous, but I didn't think badly of the people. She was screaming, oh my God. And he's working overtime. Like I said, I didn't think anything bad about that. I was kind of happy for him. I thought, well, good for them. Next night, same thing. It started like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to a Mud Hens game, baseball game. So I was going for like 5 hours. Come back, it's still going on. Finally, I can't stand this. I go downstairs, I talk to the front desk. He knew exactly who I was talking about, by the way. It was a sex worker. They were filming something in that room. So this was not just a boyfriend and a girlfriend type of thing. This was something a little shadier than that. Apparently, this is just something like every weekend. They come and they film in that hotel room. Did not make up for any of the trouble that they put me through. I had to move to a different room. They wouldn't move them, and they wouldn't go up there and tell them to be quiet. They moved me up to a different floor. That's how bad that was. Just absolutely the worst hotel experience of my life. I think it was $180 or something like that. I mean, they really sold it like this was like a really nice hotel. I've stayed in lots of $30 and $40 hotels that were immaculate and beautiful and just perfect experience. This was $180, I think, and was just the worst experience of my life as far as hotels go. It wasn't the worst experience of my life, but as far as hotels go. I use this story about the hotel to talk about disillusionment. And it's not a perfect comparison because the expectations I was working with were not entirely unreasonable, given the pictures and the research I did ahead of time. But you can still see how my level of disillusionment was in direct proportion to my expectations getting there, right? What expectations did I have when I got there? So if this is true when our expectations are reasonable, imagine when our expectations are not reasonable. How, we ourselves create our own disillusionment in these cases. What if I went, after this experience, I began to equate the experience with this one hotel, with all hotels and all hotel workers? Does this one hotel and the people working there accurately reflect or represent all hotels and hotel workers? Clearly not. So anyway, talking about this disillusionment stuff, if you come to me with the expectation that I'm able to fix you, and then I don't, have I let you down? No, you've let yourself down with your impossible expectations. Remember, if you're going to get better, it's going to be because you got yourself better. I can offer some accurate information, but I can't do the work for you, and I can't do the necessary inner things that it requires. Goes for professionals too, by the way. You can't expect for them to fix you. You don't have a broken leg. It's not like a broken leg. Only you are responsible for and can fix yourself. But it's up to you to take advantage of the resources that, for example, the Last Symptom offers. Remember, if you aren't doing your part, you ain't doing it for the right reasons and doing it in the right ways and for a long enough period of time, nothing I share with you is going to matter. Nothing anybody shares with you is going to matter. Disillusionment can also come from viewing me, for example, as something greater than just a normal person. I open the show every week with Brian Barnett's just a regular guy. Sooner or later, you're going to see flaws, sometimes great flaws. And so you might read something about me, you might hear somebody complain about me, and how sad it is that because of one's own unrealistic expectations that I be some sort of super individual, that then a person could become disillusioned by the fact that I am just a normal person. And I've been telling it for 4 years. So when a person becomes disillusioned then with me because they go, oh, he picks his nose. Well, healthy people don't pick their noses, do they? We do. But you see that then they would use that to become disillusioned, and then they'd go, well, because he picks his nose, I ain't going to have anything to do with all these accurate insights and information that he offers. The disillusionment is dangerous. So make sure that nobody else is creating disillusionment for you. So for example, like the professional community, just go into it knowing them as a community going to waste a lot of your time. You're going to have to work real hard to find the right person. That way you protect yourself from disillusionment. Also, keep telling yourself, I got to do this work. I got to do it. If it's going to happen, it's going to be because of me. I need some accurate information and some help that way, but I recognize that being healthy is not the same thing as being perfect. Barnett's still dealing with the same human limitations that we all are. He still makes mistakes. He still says things sometimes that he wishes he could take back, especially if he's tired, hungry, or not feeling good. Right? There's a difference between emotional unhealth or emotional disorder and what is just the normal human condition. And besides that, what bearing does the fact that I'm not perfect have on the quality of information that I provide? None whatsoever. Has no bearing on whether the information I provide you is accurate or not. The fact that I make mistakes. Some mistake I make or choice I make for my own life that you totally dislike, so that's not even a mistake, right? I might just make choices that you don't like. It's not a mistake, but it's still my life. I get to make those choices, right? That in itself, not proof that I haven't recovered from my emotional disorder. No reason for you to get disillusioned over something like that.
Orange Slices are brief highlights from the Last Symptom podcast. Subscribe to full audio episodes of the show on any major podcast platforms such as Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Amazon Music, and more. While I've got you chewing on that, like this video, pretty please. Might as well press subscribe while you're at it. I bet you a nickel you know somebody who's overdue for hearing some of these things, so go on, forward this video to them.